duties as assigned. This 6th episode is going to be centered about telling your story. The whole premise of this podcast is giving administrators little nuggets, little ideas, things that they can do to be better at their jobs, but even just things that they haven't maybe thought about doing with their jobs, ways to utilize technology, ways to make connections, all kinds of things. And I think one of the duties that I've picked up and have started to work on over the course of my 10 years that I think is a really critical one, and one that usually gets put to the back burner. It does for me, but I need to keep it towards the front of my to-do list, is telling our story. And what I mean by that is sharing the great things that are happening within our building with our staff, with our students, with our families, and with our community, because everyone can be so focused on negatives and can be focused on until something bad happens, they don't know what's going on in the school. And I don't know about your guys' experiences with teenagers, but teenagers aren't always the first person to run home at night and tell mom and dad, tell their families what great things are happening at school that day. In fact, I don't think that happens very often at all. And so what we want to do is we want to use and leverage technology, social media, school newsletters, all those things to tell that positive story. And it can be from a really small perspective as a teacher. We encourage our teachers to use parent emails. As a teacher, when I taught math, I sent a weekly email that just talked about, hey, these are the couple, 3, 4 things that are happening this week. Here are some big dates that are coming down the pipe. Your kids should be working about this, studying for this. Hey, they can retake this chapter 2 test if they didn't do so well. But I would share that information with parents every week. And one of the things that I think I noticed was it really started a great open communication, because as soon as I sent that information, parents would reach back out with questions and maybe had nothing to do with my message. We have teachers here in the building who do that similarly. They include pictures, which, we all know pictures say 1,000 words. And so being able to take a few pictures about what's going on in your classroom and share it with your parents is great. And we encourage that and want to encourage more teachers to do that. One thing we started a couple years ago, with social media, was asking teachers to help us showcase what's going on in their classroom. And I wanted to make it as easy as possible. And so what I started to do was I told teachers, hey, send me 3 or 4 pictures, a few words about what's going on, who's doing it. Hey, this is an English 9 honors class. What are they doing? Hey, this is a project tied to what we're doing with Romeo and Juliet. And then I would take that and craft social media posts. I'd leverage AI. We talked about that in a previous podcast, but I use AI to help me make those a little more colorful, a little more adjectives and fun to read. And AI does a really nice job of doing that. And I would just, as my prompt, helped, create an Instagram post from Plainfield High School to the community about, and then I would cut and paste whatever the teacher texted or emailed me about their pictures. And then boom, it would pop out a great little blurb that I could cut and paste into Instagram or Twitter and share out that way. And that's been really good. Part of telling your story is also learning how to make graphics and organize that. Some of you probably haven't even opened Canva maybe, or opened Adobe to play with graphics. I would highly encourage it. It's been great for me in terms of my creativity, and helps me to see those kinds of things, those tools, and to have a different way to express myself that's maybe not an Excel spreadsheet like I've been working on all morning, but give me something new to try and to express myself. And I love doing that. I've learned a lot from teachers and students about how to do that better. I follow other schools, colleges, to get some great ideas for graphics. I do a lot of graphic work for our athletic department, and it's a great opportunity to practice. And then I use those tools, those skills, to tell our academic story and the things that our students are doing. One thing we did as a district, I don't even know how many years ago, probably 8 or 9 years ago, our district's communication director created a brand kit. And that brand kit told every member of our school community what our colors were, and not just, hey, we're red, but the exact red that we are. And there's the computer code that you type in to get the exact perfect red, the exact blue, the right fonts. Here are the fonts we use in our school communication. Here are the graphics we use. You don't have to go looking for the mascot or the shield or whatever. Those are going to be saved for you. And our communication director at the time, Sabrina Kapp, did an amazing job of just really getting all of that information in one spot and sharing that with our full community, from pre-K teachers all the way through high school teachers to central office staff, so that when we create documents, they clearly are branded and they clearly come from us. I'll tell you, it makes me faster at using graphics because I'm not worried about which red to use. I'm not worried about which font to use. So many times people can go down the rabbit hole of fonts and spend so much time trying to figure out which fonts look pretty together, which is great, and that's awesome. But we have a font where we have a couple fonts. Hey, this is the font we use for this. This is the font we use for that, and it makes it so clear about what we do, and it makes it very easy to use. So, we have primary colors and secondary colors. Those are all shared out with the district. I've got the color codes in my Canva. I've got it on a sheet of paper on my desk in case I'm using something other than Canva and need the right color. And that has really helped with telling our story and having a really uniform way that we share out with our families. Like I said, we do it through Instagram and Twitter. We do it through our parent square, which is how we communicate through messaging. But when I send a parent email, it always is tagged with graphics, headers, reminding graphics. I do the same thing. We have school slides, streaming slides that are up on televisions around the building all day long. And that's another way that we tell our story. We have pictures of students doing great things in classes, and in extracurriculars and co-curriculars, and just it's a great way to let everybody know what's going on. And I know kids notice when their picture makes it up there. They make a point of commenting about it, and it's cool, and it's a great way to emphasize that positive that's going on every day in your building. So I guess my takeaway is start small. Ask maybe your teachers, your department chairs, hey, send me one text or email a month. And if everybody does that, you have more than enough content. In a school our size, I could be making 3 or 4 posts a month, or 3 or 4 posts a day if everyone sends me a message a month. Some teachers are better at it than others. I recognize in staff meetings the teachers who are doing that, and I kind of celebrate them to try to get other people to get on board with helping us. But that's been really good for us. And not only does it do a nice job of emphasizing what's going on, it gives you great graphics to use in other things down the road that you might need. Whether they're parent presentations or documents that you're going to create. I love having that information. So telling your story is really important. I really would encourage you to do it. It's a team effort. You can't be in every room taking pictures, but maybe even connecting with your publications students and getting pictures that way, or finding a student who loves photography who wants to be an intern. We've leveraged all those things to make it go smoothly for us. We're using students in our digital design class now to help with some of the graphic creation, and that's been great. Encourage you to take the leap, start those things. If you haven't started an Instagram page for your school, I would encourage you to do that. Reach out. I'd love to share some of the things that we're doing and be able to help you that way. So as we wrap up now the 6th episode of Other Duties as Assigned, if you haven't seen the previous 5, really encourage you to go back. The last one where I had my guest of my wife on to talk about AI was really good, and really just great opportunity to continue to learn more from each other. I would love some suggestions. If you have other topics you want us to cover on this podcast or other guests, we'll continue to bring more people on as we move forward. I don't know when and what this podcast will continue to be. I hope it continues and have more things to share with you and other ideas to help make your life just a little bit easier. Thanks again, and I hope you have a great day.